just saw that. It says forward by Mark DeCosta. So your son does the forward on the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
He opened
Now,
up the forward.
can you, on the camera, tell Mark to come on our show?
Wow.
Yeah, Mark.
You should.
I mean, I'm not ashamed. I
No,
got
no, Mark, yeah.
Mark, please.
Come on the show, Mark.
Your mom, your
Your
dad's
dad.
been on
Come
here.
on.
Come
Yeah.
on. We should.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, if you can, do it.
Invite Craig.
Invite Craig, yes. I want to know about the stocks and stuff. I need some money help.
Oh, yeah. We need some financial
Sorry, Mike,
advice.
I had to. I mean, if I don't do it now, we may never get a hold of you. I'm shameless.
Let me tell you about this book.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
please.
yes, the book.
Originally,
Legacy.
the manuscript, we had over pretty close to 800 pages.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Because I was-
800 pages.
Yeah, and then when my publisher got it, he said, you know what? We only have space for 274 pages.
Holy,
And
how
that-
do you cut 600 pages?
They cut a lot of things, cut a lot of the big thing over there. So what happens was just that there've been a couple of producers that wants to do a film
Hey.
on the life
Yeah.
on it, because after they read the book, they said, "Wow, we got to do this," because just on the Denver incident
Yeah,
alone,
the legalities.
we can do that. And then just about my career, we can do that.
Wow.
And then about you and Malia, we can do that. And they said
So
about
it's a
family.
trilogy.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing. I said,
Yeah.
Hey, I'll
Well,
play mid-age you.
was that?
I'm an actor. I'll play you
Well,
in the movie.
you gotta lose weight because I was skinny then.
You just called me fat. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a
So,
lightweight. I have
Yeah.
to be a lightweight.
so kind of look forward it's going to start off with a documentary.
Wow, that's
Wow,
awesome.
that's
So,
awesome.
Hey, you got to call us when that happens.
Hey, we did it first.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, we spent a lot of time and we're not even finished. Yeah, but
Dude, hey, you get to stay as long as you want. Are you kidding? I mean, Al DeCosta's name
That's a big name.
in the world, in the martial world, is huge. I mean, but hearing all of these stories about Denver and all the things, and as you're growing up, and then this book is saying a lot of that stuff, and then the things that you couldn't put in there. I mean, you could say whatever you like.
Do you have the original manuscript?
huh?
Do you have the original manuscript?
Yeah.
Do part 3,
Can I
4,
get
and
it?
5.
Oh,
We're gonna sell it on eBay for.
I wouldn't sell it, but I was signing a non-disclosure clause.
But you know what I mean? I mean,
I just want to
Dude,
read it.
we had to have you on the show because one, it's a good bookend to Malia's story, that we can get the other side of it.
Yeah.
But not only for that primarily, but for the fact that of who you are,
Yeah.
what you did for the arts, how you changed it, how people looked at the
How
arts,
you
especially back in the days when I was in martial arts, back in the late 70s, early 80s, the form stuff that was going on in the martial arts. I mean, that was you guys' thing. I mean, nobody could touch Malia. Nobody could touch any of your students. I mean, you guys were it, as far as competition-wise. I mean, like I said, I always remembered the outfits that you guys wore. Yeah, the uniforms are incredible.
We can tell you about Eric Lee and Karen Shepard and Karen Turner and all the other people that we developed.
Yay!
That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Lee is a story in itself, and I talk about Eric Lee how he began.
That's a offshoot of the first movie.
Yeah.
That's another movie after the first.
Eric was right involved with Bruce Lee era.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that we had back then, because a lot of people ask me how was I involved with Bruce Lee. Wow. That's a good one too.
Let's because we're getting ready to do some interviews with the Lee family.
Yeah.
So let's hear your story.
Yeah. What is your?
Let's hear that story, and then we can let you go home.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's end it with that because that's fascinating.
which Lee story? Which Lee?
Well, Bruce Lee, of course.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's
There's so
pay
many
homage.
Lees right now.
Oh yeah, I know. But let's
Not
pay
Mr.
homage.
Lee, but Bruce Lee.
Let's pay homage to Bruce Lee. I'd like to hear this.
Well, Bruce Lee and I really started back in 1965, I think, right around 1965, 66. And that came because of Bruce Lee and James Lee,
Yes.
okay? And that was about the same era where I was still repairing my school, where Malia was looking into
Right.
the school, came into the school.
Wow, so
Yeah,
pretty far back.
About
Yeah.
that era there, and and it was on a Sunday, on a weekend, because that's when I do all my repair, and the school was totally dark
Right.
inside there, right? And at that time too, I had already moved into the school. I made one of the rooms my room.
Yeah, it's during the separate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in the back sweeping and everything, lights off and everything. And when you look inside, you can't see anything, but from the outside, from the inside, you can see.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
And I see these two Chinese guys looking, trying to see like that. You see what I mean?
Because they're seeing the Chinese pagoda stuff, and they're like,
Right,
"Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
let's go!
So-
What is
so-
this?"
So
They might have thought it was a restaurant too.
I had no idea there was Bruce Lee and James Lee looking into my school.
Wow,
Okay.
it's amazing.
They're looking into the school because I mean, here you have a storefront Chinese kung fu school on San Leandro Boulevard. It wasn't.
It wasn't typical. No,
No.
It stood out.
It stood out.
It stood out.
Yeah, of course, it stood out because most of them were up on the ceiling, or I mean, up in
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
up on the roof or in the whatever. But anyway, I see these two guys over here, and I had no idea who they were. Yeah. About 2-3 weeks later, my school was doing a demonstration at the Civic Auditorium in Oakland.
Okay.
Okay, it was like a garden show that they had, and we were on stage demonstrating, and here we're demonstrating, and I see these two same people watching up like this, just watching what we're doing over here, right? They only came to see our school demonstrate. The next group that came up, they took off.
Wow.
That's all
So
they
they were really looking at you.
Yeah, they were looking at that. Then one of my guys came in and said, "Hey, there's two Chinese guys over there was asking questions a lot." I said, "Well, who are they?" "Oh, this guy James Lee." I didn't know who James Lee was.
Yeah.
He said, "And this guy Bruce Lee." I didn't even know who he was at that time.
Right.
He said, "That's just James
Right.
Lee, Bruce Lee," right? And about a couple of months later, this is when the Green Hornet series
Okay.
was coming out. So now I see Bruce Lee. I said, "Hey, that's the same guy." Sitting over there. You see what I mean? All that started to clicked in, clicked in, and from that point on, within a year and a half, because while Bruce Lee was always in Los Angeles, but he was also up in James Lee's place,
Right,
which
right.
is in Oakland, California, and for some problem that my student Ted Sotelo at that time.
Oh, Ted Sotelo. Yes, we
Yeah.
know that name.
Ted Sotelo was one of my top students. He was demonstrating also with
Right.
his brother Bobby. Yeah? And Ted Sotelo was at a party in some place where Bruce Lee's students was all, and they started talking about martial arts, and Bruce Lee's system was going on a straight blast and everything. Ours wasn't. Ours was side movements, all side movements, and they started talking things that way. And the problem came up. He says, "Well, yeah, we heard a problem that C4L had knocked Bruce Lee off his horse."
Right.
Okay, so students were thinking, "Oh, that I had beat Bruce Lee."
Oh, jeez.
All right,
Right.
Bruce Lee. And the point was just that I was getting upset. I says, "Nothing like that happened."
Right.
So, and I was getting annoyed because
Right.
this was going on for a couple of months, and then I tried to go up to Bruce Lee's house, where to James Lee's house where Bruce Lee was, and then I go up to James Lee's house and I says, "Hey, Sifu James," I says, "I'd like to talk to Bruce because I think there's a lot of crap that's going on. I
Right,
wanna
right.
find out."
Misunderstanding.
And he said, "Oh, he don't want to talk to you."
Right.
I said, "Where's he at?" "Well, he's down in Los Angeles or something." I said, "Oh, okay," because he was doing
Movie, yeah.
Yeah.
movie days. Okay. So that all was went. Then what happened was just that because the story was going around that it was getting big. When you say the people, Sifu Costco beat Bruce Lee. You see? And it was causing tension between.
Right, of course.
The
It wasn't
schools,
with me
yeah.
because I didn't know nothing about what was going on.
Right.
The students, right? So what happened was just that the stories got all mixed up because the party that Tetsutelo was at with along they're talking about the comparison
Yeah.
between our styles, his student and my student. It was just that, oh yeah, Sifu L had knocked Bruce Lee off his horse. Wrong, L. It was Sifu L Novak
Oh my God.
that had
Yeah.
knocked Bruce off his horse.
Right.
Right? So they didn't hear all that because there was at a party. It was all kinds of noise going
Yeah.
on.
Right.
You know,
and all I heard was Al.
Yeah.
Sifu
yeah,
Al,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're the more
Right,
famous
right.
Al.
Yeah, because my student was there, so they were
Yeah.
they were thinking that it was
It was
me.
Al,
But they
yeah.
were not talking about me. They were talking about Sifu L Novak.
Wow, that's
You see what I mean?
crazy.
So the thing goes out. If they would have said, well, Sifu L Novak was the one that knocked Bruce off his horse,
Right.
then they would understand.
And you would have never met Bruce Lee. Or
yeah.
you wouldn't even known about him.
well-
You would have never came visit.
Right. So that was a total misunderstanding.
Right.
Yeah. Now, about a year afterwards, I can't remember what it was, in 1968 or something that way, Bruce Lee was sitting at the International Karate Championship, right?
Ed Parker's.
I was just watching
Yeah.
every day, and I was fighting and demonstrating.
Uh-huh.
So I did a form, and I had done practicing my split, and I had torn my hamstring. Boom.
Ooh.
And I was doing a perform and everything. I went up against this guy, John Pereira, Chuck Norris, myself. With the three major styles.
Yeah.
They had Chuck Norris was Korean, Pereira was karate, yeah, and me I represented Kung Fu. And we went up to the Grand Championship, right? I would have won it, except I couldn't move. So I was hurting. I was did as best I can, right? So I'm coming off the stage, right? And now I'm coming off the stage. Bruce Lee was like that. Okay. So I said, "Oh, it's Bruce Lee." I walk up to him. I say, "Hey, Bruce." He says, "I'm Sifu Well." He says, "I know who you are." Yeah. I said, "Can we talk?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Hey, there's all kinds of rumors going around, about you and I having this conflict." He said, "Hey, don't worry about it." He says, "Instructors don't cause problems. It's the students that cause problems."
So he knew the whole
So he knew all the time. He just.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, inside of me, I go.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But how humble of him to let you know, hey, don't worry about it. I get it, and,
Yeah.
and this is this is
Yeah.
the problem with the students is that
Yeah.
they cause this kind of drama.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had social media at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was that. I said, okay, that's fine. And then I think the following year, I don't know if it was that year or the following year, that in a tournament, the same place, international. I was coming up or going down in the elevator, and he was getting in, and we went in together. And we just sitting down, and we walked out together, and we started talking for a couple of hours on the martial arts.
No.
Wow.
You see me? So about ideas and things that way, and he already knew because I was really progressive. Yeah, he was really good with his hands, but at that time I was super good with my legs. I could kick, hook, and do all the kind of things, which was uncommon for a Kempo guy.
Right.
You see what I mean? So my demonstrator, I could stand right next to you and bring my leg up, bam, just kick you this way, and guys would go to say, man, this way, and I would get guys put their hands up this way. I said, I'm gonna kick you in the nose, and I said, you're trying to block it out. Boom, I kick them to the closing. But I had speed.
Yeah.
Just right inside with my legs. You see what I mean? And then I like the way that he moved his hands because it was also similar to what I was practicing also from the southern style of Kung Fu, which was also Prementis, Southern Prementis, Southern Prementis has similar movements as the Winshin movements. Yeah. So that said, it was that was out of the way, and then how was that? There was when Bruce Lee died, of course we had Ming Lam and some of the other people in the old days invited my group, and we went to Hong Kong.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Really time over there. Just a couple of months after Bruce Lee died, it was this crowd. All kinds of people was writing magazines and rumors and everything else. We were accepted into the Hong Kong, the Martial Arts Association,
Right.
and all kinds of things were going on. And the relationship was that. Coming back to the United States about a year later, I was already in Hamburg, Germany.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we remember that.
We heard that story.
Yeah, and then Linda Lee called, and said that they wanted me to come into United Artists to interview for the Bruce Lee part.
Oh, wow.
You see, so they flew me into United Artists. I met I can't remember the guy's name, the producer Bob, whatever, that did Enter the Dragon, and I did the interview, and they liked what I did. They actually shaved right over here and here to make it one and make me look a little bit more Chinese. and I stayed over at Linda Lee's house for about 2 weeks,
Oh, okay.
which was really good because she offered me all Bruce Lee's equipment
Wow.
and all his clothes. He said, if you want it, go ahead and take it. Well, I tried to put in this jacket, I couldn't fit. Because I wore a 9.5, he wore a 7.5.
Yeah.
He said he was a little bit shorter than me. Yeah, I couldn't fit. I said, nah, that's okay. But he said, you want any equipment? Yeah. He said, yeah. So I take that airbag.
Right.
I had that bull pump that he was using to build that up over here, and 2 handbags. Right.
Wow.
I brought it back to Germany. Big mistake. People found out about it. In 1 month, it disappeared.
Jeez.
Yeah, somebody
Stole it,
walk off
yeah.
with it, and it really, really upset me.
Oh, I can imagine.
Really upset me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That was before camera security set
Yeah.
the ropes, right?
Yeah.
So we had
Well,
no
it
idea.
wasn't a very good neighborhood yet to school in.
So the movie never got made.
Right.
They went with Alex Kwok from Vancouver, and I made a big mistake because I already had the part coming into me.
Right.
They wanted me to do the life and legend of Bruce Lee.
Wow.
Right? Eventually, that was made into the one that what's his name?
Jason Scott Lee?
Huh? No, he
Yeah,
did.
the dragon. Was that the one?
Yeah, with who was I forgot his
Jason
name.
Scott Lee, I think.
Jason Scott Lee.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, it got to be that after 20 something
Oh,
years later.
so they waited that long?
Well, it waited that long because I was ready to sign the contract and everything to do the movie.
Uh-huh.
You know? But they said, I said, well, who's going to be my stunt coordinator and everything else that way? And they said, oh, we have a karate guy coming inside. I got pissed off. You know?
A karate guy.
I said, you're going to have a karate guy that's going to show me what I do. And the reason why,
That's an insult, I think.
the reason why that I was, Linda called because she knew that I was familiar
Right.
with Bruce Lee and his style. Matter of fact, she wrote a book called
Right.
The Man I Only Knew, or The Man That, something like that.
Yeah.
And she quotes inside here that the other person that Bruce Lee talked about was me.
Wow.
He quoted that says that the only person that could duplicate something like that was Elder Costco. It's in the book.
Jeez.
It's in the book that he wrote. You see,
That's amazing.
you see, so
Wow.
I didn't know
That's
that.
cool.
I didn't know that he thought that about me at all. You know what
Wow.
I mean, for me, like,
Yeah.
wow.
How honoring. Yeah.
It was an honor, see. So it's in her book, and I got my book. I said, man, people look at the book. Can I borrow it? I said, no.
No.
Because I've had people borrow books from me, and they never come back.
No, they also
Back.
borrow mitts and a bag.
Yeah. You see me. So that was said. So here I am, ready to sign the agreement to do
Right.
the movie with Warner Brothers and first
Right.
United Artists. But I had another group of people fighting for me, agents and everything else this
Right.
way, right? And that I had to comply and do everything that the karate guy was going to teach me. And I said, man, I don't want a damn karate guy, man. I'm a kung fu guy and everything. And that got to the producer and the stunt coordinator. that didn't set off well because
Oh,
you know
yeah,
you know,
bet.
they're not good.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell us how we do our thing?
Right.
Yeah.
But had I known who the stunt coordinator was, I would have done it
Right.
because he was my friend, Pat Johnson. You see me?
Right.
If they told me it was Pat Johnson, I said, yeah, I would do it in him.
Right.
Because
But
you
they
would
told me
know.
a karate guy, because Pat Johnson and I were friends. I actually demonstrated with him and things
Right.
that way. So he would have been a good partner because he knew what I can do.
Right.
You see me? He knew what I could do. But nobody told me it was Pat Johnson, so this is why I fought.
That's funny.
So they said,
That's
oh,
crazy.
I was becoming difficult.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
becoming difficult.
So who's
and the
this-
other thing too was
Yeah.
just that they wanted me to change my name. You know, they wanted to change my name as something Lee or something.
Jesus.
The new Bruce Lee.
Oh,
The new Bruce Lee. I said no. I am Elder Cosworth. I can
Right.
portray the life and legend of Bruce Lee,
Right.
but I
But
can
I'm not
never be Bruce Lee.
right.
There's
and then
only
they
one
change
Bruce
my-
Lee.
Yeah. I already changed my wife's name. I don't need to change my
Right.
God damn it.
So they went with Alex Hua, but
Yeah.
because of things, it sat on for 20 years or so.
Alex.
And then they had to change that again.
They changed that
Yeah.
again. So then when Mark came up to me and he said, "Hey man, I've got called. They wanted me to, come inside for doing the Bruce Lee part."
Yeah.
I said, "What the movie is?" And he told me the movie. I said, "Well, that's the one I was supposed to do 20 years ago." He said, "I know that." He says, "Why you didn't do it?" And I said, "Well, because of so and so and that." And he said, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Mark, you are you.
Right.
If you're going to go inside as the new Bruce Lee, then people are going to say that you're just a copy of it. It's not you." He says, "Well, okay, then I'm not going to do it." I said, "But I have an opportunity." I said, "What's the opportunity?" "Well, this person came up to me and offered me to do Only the Strong."
Only the strong.
Capoeira.
Yeah, capoeira.
And I says, what is that all about?" He said, "It's about the Brazilian martial art." He says, "Do it, because then you're now developing your own
Your
identity."
name. Yes.
Establish yourself. Yeah.
And that's how it went into my
Wow.
Well, thank you for that. You know
That-
what?
yeah, that's
we know
awesome.
you've been looking at your clock and you want to get out of here. But hey, thank you so much for stopping
It's all
by.
right. It's only an
and,
hour
and
50.
talking with hour and 50, and we haven't even done demos, so we're not even going to do demos.
No, we're
because
gonna
we
skip
know your
this.
time is precious.
Thank
You
you,
know-
so much.
Al, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
I mean, this has been such an honor.
Yeah, it really
Um,
is. Thank you so
man.
much. I can't.
The stories you told us, I mean, I'm just blown away.
I really want that manuscript.
yeah.
I can't, because see, the manuscript right now is going into the screenwriters.
Oh.
Oh.
Right.
Yes, yes, I mean, so it's like, it's like,
Oh, so I can't have any spoilers.
Yeah.
There's no spoilers.
yeah.
Hey,
Wow,
let
this
us
has
know
been
when
an
that
amazing
happens. I mean,
episode.
we'd love to
Yeah,
hear
we
about
promote the hell out of it.
Do you mind if we reach out to you from time to time?
Hey, open number.
Good.
Sweet.
Are you ever in California?
In the States?
I am looking forward to it, but going to California, it's more so in down south.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Well,
We
let
can
us know
drive.
when you.
We can
Let us know
drive.
when. I mean,
Yeah.
we can drive down there. We don't
because
care.
it'll probably be in July, because my daughter graduates from the college, so I'm going there for her graduation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, put in a good work for us with Mark, please.
Yeah, yeah. So
Shameless.
You'll be there anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can make it up to the Bay, July we'll be having a picnic
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. We're
for,
in June 4th. We're doing a fundraiser for our show because,
Right.
as we said, the
We don't
show
make
is
any
out
money.
of pocket. So we're trying to raise funds so that we can go to different places like Hawaii.
or LA when
But yeah, so if
someone
you like,
is there.
if you'd like to come down and have fun with us at our picnic, that's in July.
Yeah, that's in
The end
July.
of July.
Yeah.
We're doing a seminar in June. We have several martial artists who have been our guests on our show.
Yes.
And we asked them to come out and do a thing for us.
And they were very gracious to help
Thank
us
you
out.
guys very much. These are all people that we see that we're able to talk to.
And we respect
And
highly.
we respect these guys. We have a gentleman by the name of Conrad Bowie, who is an exceptional martial artist who does more than 5 or 6 different styles.
Yeah, and he's ranked in each one of them.
Yeah. And to us, that was like, wow.
Yeah.
And he was gracious enough to come on the show. So we only get top quality people to come on the show. I mean, obviously, Malia. And she was so much fun to talk to.
She always is.
Yeah.
She's a firecracker.
It was funny. I think maybe a week or so after we aired the episode, he goes, "Oh, I'm sure," because the numbers were going up. Somebody was watching it almost religiously every day. He goes, "That's got to be Al." He wants to make sure I didn't say shit about him. Like, oh, okay. So did you watch that episode? I gotta know.
Yeah. I
How
did.
many times?
I just watched it one time.
Just one time.
Okay, we'll let her know that
Just one
wasn't
time.
you then.
No,
No, it wasn't.
What did you think of that episode? What do you think of our show?
no, you got a good. The way your platform is really good. It's free flow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, when you do it scripted, sometimes it just don't work. I mean, if you just let it go and
It's not
improvise
fun.
along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why our shows end up really long.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes we do our shows, but a lot of times people have so much to say. I mean, obviously we've only
Dude,
been
we've only
touching
scratched
tip-
the surface
tip.
with you. If,
Yeah.
if we can have you on another one, we'll do another 2 hours
yeah.
of whatever
Okay.
you
Sure,
didn't
that'd
say
be a lot of
here.
fun. Yeah.
Because that, dude, I'm gonna read that book on the flight home.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, I'll let you do that. Then I get the book at the end.
Because
Of the
I will
flight.
finish that book in 5 hours.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having us.
welcome.
Anything
We're gonna
you want
go
to
ahead.
plug?
No.
Anybody you want
Any
to say hi
promotion?
to?
Someone
No,
you
I
want to?
just hope that the battery didn't run out halfway through.
Oh shit! It might have. Anyways, this is Calling Conversation with me, Rick,
And me, Naeem.
and our very special
Very
guest,
special guest.
Sifu Al
De Cascos.
De Casco.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
having us.
And
And
3, 2, 1, cut!